This week on Lips Garage, we've got an inventory section. One of the things I did when I started my shop a couple years ago was took some of my seed money and acquired a couple of projects to be able to do, maintenance, restoration, bring back from the dead kind of videos. You guys have seen a couple of them. I'm going to go through and I'm going to update you on ones that you may have seen already, and then on a few of them that you may not have seen. Some of them I've got little videos of, some of them right now because of the location I've just got some pictures of, and I'll do a voiceover. So I've got a handful of them, and then at the end of it I will do a vote or a poll to see which project you think should be next on my list to do. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. So I've got a guy that we've got an agreement on that I will work on his stuff, free labor, and he lets me store my collection in his tree line, and as I get things caught up and able to shuffle them through, eventually they'll get out of here. But for the moment, this is one of the two places I've got some vehicles stored, three technically, but I'll show you what I've got here, and then might be taking a vote on one of my next projects as soon as I get caught up. So this one here behind the hood, the 1956 Ford, not Crown Victoria, Country Squire. I got this as a parts car for my 55 because the glass is mostly intact, had some interior pieces I was looking for, and it would be a great donor for a lot of what I wanted. And then as I got into it, it's too good a shape to part out. So this will be one I think I'm going to build for sale. I need to take a look at a couple of things. By VIN number, this thing is supposed to have the Thunderbird 312 Y block in it. If that's the case, between being the full Country Squire, it'll have the third row seating. I've got two sets of actually the wood trim around it. If I do a full restoration on this guy, that's going to be worth some dollars. So we'll see what I've got there. The trunk lid, let me get through my mini Forest here, is part of, I think you might have seen this in another post. I have a 1967 four-door Post Fairlane. I like these because they've got the over-under headlights. I've really kind of taken the shine to the 68, 69 since I got mine, but the 66, 67 has always been one of my favorites. This one I've got some thoughts on, possibly calling it YLE and doing a coyote swap on it. This one's in really, really, really good shape. Got this in a trade with a gentleman. He's got a two-door. He pulled a bunch of stuff off to put his together and managed to work a deal to get the shell. The only rust at all that I have seen to this point is just a little bit on the trunk edge there. So this should be a real good donor to build something fun out of. Moving on, right next to it is a 66, if I remember correctly, Ford Econoline. I've always loved this flat nose front end. I don't know why. Cotton, if you watch Motor Trend, he's got one similar that he's doing an LS swap in. This originally came with a straight 6, probably the 200 on this one, if I remember correctly. Maybe the 170, but this would be a good donor for doing like a 2JZ swap. It is the panel van as opposed to the passenger one. It does have windows in the back, but not on the side, although I think I've heard somewhere that the side doors and the back doors are the same. I would like to put windows in that one at least. I was thinking about doing either a camper van conversion with this guy, or possibly like either a mobile mechanic or maybe a support rig for Power Tour one of these years. So we'll see where we're at with there. Next one on the list, at least here, is I need to check the numbers again. I always forget. I think it's a 66 Plymouth Fury 3 convertible. Does have the factory 383 torque flight in it. And it's got an old school baby seat in it. So this one, have an arrangement with one of my neighbors on for the car and the trailer. And this one's going to be definitely the next one on my list as soon as I get done with my surprise project. But we'll see what kind of options we have. We might have some pretty fun things to do on this one. And then the last one I got here, as anybody knows, I'm a huge fan of these 50 Ford trucks. This one is a true 55. I got this from a lady in Iowa. Same place I got another car. I don't remember if I've had a 1955 Buick. I'll do a walkthrough of that lot one of these days. But I saw an ad on Marketplace or on one of the F100 pages, had parts and stuff. And I went there to get a front clip for the truck that I'm working on now. And funny enough, I bought the front clip, but have not used anything off of it. Went completely different direction. But while I was there, had a lot of vehicles. So I made a deal on two, tried to make a deal on a third one, but life happens and ended up not being able to go through on my end with it. But this one is a true 55, and what got me is it's got the wings on it, which the factory 55, again, the 55's got that drop down center that I absolutely love. And the wings on there really kind of rarefies it a little bit. But this one does have the factory engine still at the moment. I've got plans for this one, but for now I need to grab some parts. This one here is a 1955 Buick Special. This one I saw in the yard where I had found the other 55 pickup and bought the front clip. As I was going to look at the truck, I had my buddy Johan, you can see in the picture there, head over and take a look at this guy. It does have the original Buick nailhead in it. It does roll pretty free. The body is in better shape than it looks. The worst part about it is the driver's rear quarter. And then the hood we had an issue with. We pulled the cardinal sin when we were towing it home, and we did not slap the strap and say that's not going anywhere. At that point, the hood flipped up and bent over the top of the windshield. So it didn't hurt anything else, but it did put a crease in the hood. So once I get to that one, I need to see what I can do about the hood or if I have to replace it. One of the thoughts we're having about that one is possibly doing an LS swap in it. If I can get the original nailhead to work, I will. I think that's kind of a unique engine, these days, and especially if we can get it running, I think it'll be a real good addition to the program. Next up are a pair of 56 Ford pickups. One's an F100, one's an F250. I got these from the gentleman I got the 56 Country Squire from. He was selling off a lot of this stuff because he was moving from the area out to Arizona. And once I bought an engine from him, I bought a couple of parts from him, I ended up buying that wagon from him. And as he was wrapping up, he said that he had 3 vehicles kind of down in the ditch that had been there for a while, and basically said, if you want them, you can have them, you just got to get them. So, sounds easier than it was, but we were able to get 3 of them out of the ditch, and these were 2 of them. Originally, my thought was to combine the 2 trucks into one and put them on the 94 F-150 chassis, the one that I ended up pulling the engine out of. It was a 4x4. I had a bunch of big plans of making a cab and a half and jacking it way up and just kind of having fun. That went by the wayside. I ended up having to get rid of that chassis and everything. So I'm still kind of deciding what I want to do with them. There's a real good market for 56 pickups. These are pretty far gone, so I'm not sure what ultimately I could do with them. But I mean, they're the mid-50s Ford, so I wasn't going to say no if I was able to pick them up. There are enough pieces between the 2 trucks, though, that I could probably make one pretty easily. And again, we'll kind of review what the market does. I can probably do something with both of them. And last but certainly not least of the 3 I was able to get is this one. It's a 1967 Mustang. It is in really rough shape. It wasn't great to begin with. But when we were pulling it out of the creek bed or whatever that was in, the undercarriage caught a tree stump and it ripped the complete underside out of the car. So I really need to get this in a spot where I can get up underneath it, see what's salvageable, see if anything is salvageable. There's a lot you can do with these if it's just a matter of, okay, replace the floor pans and cross braces. I mean, it's a 67 Mustang. I do like those because they have the larger engine bay to have some options there. If I need to, one of the things we've talked about doing is maybe making a full tube chassis to put onto it. They do make actual full frames for these guys now. So there are some options if we want to go through with it. It may be cheaper to just get a different one to start with, but these are getting harder and harder to find. The other thing that they have now is they do make a conversion to turn a coupe into a fastback. Now, if I decide to do that, it will just strictly be for me. It won't be anything I'll try and sell as an original, fastback or anything like that. And if I ever do get rid of it, it will be in the description that, hey, this is a conversion, it's not authentic. I know a buddy of mine really wants to build Mustang fastback as well, so we've talked a little bit about seeing what we can do with this to have a good start. You can get complete aftermarket bodies for these things for about 20 grand, which, am I going to have 20 grand in time, parts, and whatever? Possibly. But this is something I can do a little at a time versus trying to shell out 20 grand in one take. So not an exhaustive list, but that's another couple of vehicles on top of the ones that I'm already working on. So the arrangement that I have is that Plymouth Fury is going to be the next one I get working on. It's just whether or not it's going to be a get it running and selling as a project to somebody to see what they want to do with it, or if it's take the time, take a couple years and do an actual full restoration on it. From there, I'm kind of up in the air as to whether or not I want to put that other wagon together. Might try and build that one for like a Barrett Jackson auction, or if I should do the other Fairlane, start it out with a 302 AOD, something like that, just get it up and running, and then start collecting the parts to do a Coyote swap with it. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Ultimately, that would be one probably for sale down the road, but it'd be something that I would build to drive personally and have some fun with for a while. So I've got a couple options there. But tell me what you all think. Which ones did you like? Which ones do you think are not worth putting the money into? Which ones would you like to have? What's a project that you'd like to see that, maybe one that not everybody does? I'm a big fan of Studebakers. You don't see a whole lot of those out there anymore. So if you feel comfortable doing so, as always, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't yet, help support the channel. I'll never ask for money. I'll never, post swag or anything like that. So it just lets me know that people are enjoying what I'm doing and getting a kick out of my videos. So until next time, be safe, and we'll see you all later.